Good evening, folks. Thank you for catching us on the replay. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Give us that big old thumbs up. Very important. I hope you guys are doing great in the world today. We're going to give it a few minutes and let some people get in here before we get too excited, okay? Plus, that'd give me a chance to kind of get organized, caught up. My collar doesn't look very good, does it? Plus, that'd give me a chance to kind of get organized, caught up. My collar doesn't look. Ooh, it's going to be an adventure for us in my part of the world. We got a major snow event coming, everybody. We do indeed. And I mean a major snow event. But we're not going to talk about that right at the moment. My views your world, AJ. How are you, my friend? Good morning to you. How are you? I'm trying to get organized. Just set that over there. How are you, my friend? Margie, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you for the thumbs up, like and subscribe and share. Good to see you guys. You're doing good? Nice, nice. Good to hear. It is going to get ready to be really bad weather for us, but that's okay. You like me? Thank you, Margie. We appreciate that. Doing pretty good. You know, it's Wednesday in our part of the world, right? Yeah. So, not bad, not bad. I'm doing all right today. It's chilly. Watch the ads too. Thank you for that. I know that's always a bummer to watch ads. I don't feel like my collar is very good. Yeah, I always try to look halfway like a gentleman, you know, when I do these lives. What's going on, my views? Tim's in the house. Good to see you guys. All say hello to each other for me, if you would. Please do that. All you got to do is say hi, Tim, or hi, Margie, or hi, my views. Hello, everybody. That's good, too. That works. Oh, my goodness gracious, great balls of holy fart fires. Woo! So, yeah, it's an exciting week. We're having a very exciting week. I'm working on several projects. You know, I've been watching a bunch of YouTube lately, a bunch of YouTubers complaining about other YouTubers and all that bullshit that we see on a regular basis. You know, I think it's funny. You got some of them complaining, some YouTubers complaining about other YouTubers doing things for clicks and views. And my question is, well, aren't they just complaining for clicks and views? If you have a YouTube channel, isn't everything you do for clicks and views? So complaining about somebody complaining, I mean, like that, you know what I mean? I don't know. I was on a live stream last night, and it got me thinking about that. Thank you for saying hello to each other. Cold this morning, 65 degrees at 6 a.m. Nice. We would take that anyway. Jaden's in the house. Good evening, Jaden. So it's like some of these bigger channels are all pissing and moaning at each other because who wants to be the top dog? You know, if you got like 75,000 subscribers or more, you're all fighting for the big top dog notch. And apparently none of them really like each other. So they all complain about their channels, about how they export to the Philippines or how they do this, but they've all done it. That's what I think is funny. They're all guilty of the same thing that they complain about the others doing. No, you cannot, Jaden. No, there's no reason for you to have a mod. Being a moderator really doesn't do you any good. There's nothing to it, right? I mean, there's no monetary value. There's no authority. It's just blue in color. It doesn't really matter. And what really helps me is a lot of you guys who aren't blue in color, then it kind of helps contrast and it helps me not miss some of the chat because I can look and go, oh, okay, here's a blue, here's a gray, here's a blue, here's a gray, such like that. And then the members all come up in different colors too, which is also helpful. So, Anthony, good morning. I have a little joy today and a little sorrow tomorrow. Oh, today. What's your joy and what's your sorrow? What's going on, Anthony? Good to see you, by the way. Good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Tell me what's going on. I am here. Remember, I am your YouTube life coach, your support system. You're all around Lord and Master of the universe. I figured out why my hours dropped suddenly. Yes, it expires after a year. That's right. And then it totally just, you kind of got to start all over. That's why it's important, Tim, and I know it's really hard for a lot of us, is to keep our monthly average up there so we don't have that problem. Kanisha from New York is in the house. Good day. Good to see you. My views are ordered. It's funny, the ones who complain about the things they have done in the past. It's like they have some great awakening. It is. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, those other people are horrible. They're evil. And let me talk about them so I can get more clicks and views. I know. We're all pathetic. I told somebody the other day, said, all of our number one goal is to collect some views, right? That's why I'm on here. I'm not on here to be self-righteous. I'm on here to get clicks and views. Hello? Damn people. Oh, look at that. Well, my views, I appreciate that. Joyous, we got a beagle, 4-month-old female. And we just got our beagle doggy this morning. All right, she's 4-month-old. Happy congratulations to the beagle. Maybe I'll lower this camera. I don't like where it's positioned. Give me a second. Feels like I'm looking up to you guys, or a weird angle. What? We had a dog we brought last week, a female Labrador. She was 3 months old. We had her for a week and she died. Damn, what happened to her? You just don't know because it's hard to decipher that in the Philippines. Like our dog Daisy that died last year, she died of heart failure, and I know that. We had her in the vet so many times. But congratulations on getting another dog. I really would like to have another Daisy, another dog, but one, they're very, very expensive. And two, I'm not for sure if we should or not. Yes, you got to do the live streams to build it up faster, and the live streams help to give you your monthly average. You can't count on your regular video viewership to keep your hours. You just can't do it. Not with our type of numbers. Some of us smaller channels. Yeah. I got a little bit of a runny nose tonight, and the weather's changing here. We're gonna have a foot of snow by Sunday. So I got 3 shirts on, black one, black and gray matches my hat. So you always gotta remember to style and profile, boys and girls. Well, Tony, that sucks that your doggy died. But I went through it last year and it devastated me. It still bugs me. I think about my dog every day, literally every day. Every night I go to bed, I think of her because she's not where she's supposed to be. So I get it, man. Yeah, and Tim, you do these live streams. Remember, if you do these, you get more clicks, more views, and more time. That helps to do them this way versus horizontal, do vertical. Now, I like to do horizontal of course, when I'm doing StreamYard and I have people up on a panel. If I want to do that, that's the way you got to do that. But on this, YouTube directly, best way is do it like this. And if you still ever want it, like I could send you a link before I set up one of these live streams to you directly, and you could come on and co-host with me. So when you do these type of live streams, there's no other external link to drop for the general public. I'm restarting my computer and now it's wanting me to update some shit. I don't know what that is. Let me close that. Souls in the house, good evening. How are you? Let's see. Soul, my friend, how are you? Soul's getting ready to have foot surgery, if I remember. Yep, surgery set tomorrow. Tony says, don't forget it's called Labrador's Excellent Temperament in Children. Yeah, they are. Labradors are great dogs. They're not as good as wiener dogs. I'm just going to tell you flat out. They're not, and you can't convince me otherwise. But they are very, very good dogs, especially black and chocolate ones. Yellow labs are a little bit more active. So, are you excited? Are you scared about surgery? Well, look, don't be scared about surgery. Here's what I want you to do, because you're talking to somebody who's had, I couldn't tell you how many surgeries and procedures I've had in my life. I can't tell you. So many. It's unbelievable. What I want you to do is just relax. Don't stress. What I mean is literally just give it up. Just follow the instructions. Go with the flow. If you get a chance to laugh with the employees, because they'll try to make you feel easy, just do that. Sorry. But realize there's nothing you can do. It's going to happen. So just, that's what I do. I literally just go in and say, well, okay, whatever, just tell me what you need done. And I lay there and act like it's a normal day. Talk to them about the weather or about cars or make fun of whatever comes up, joke and kid and enjoy your time there. Because remember, they're just people doing a job. So if you treat it like that and you just don't worry about it because it's going to happen, it's going to go well, it's okay. I wanted a big dog. They're about 70 to 80 pounds. They can be, yeah. Labs are big dogs. I agree with you. We like the wiener dog, if I didn't tell you already. Wiener dogs are the #1 dogs in the whole entire world. You can't beat a wiener dog. If we were rich, I'd have like 100 of them. I don't know where the hell we'd put them. We'd have to hire people to take care of them, but we'd have 100 of them. Inches of snow, 12 inches of snow coming by Sunday, is what they're saying, 5 to 12. Yes, sir. Here in my part of the country, Dallas, Texas, out west, Oklahoma, yeah. Surgery is set tomorrow morning. Father Linder is bringing me to the appointment and back home. So it's outpatient surgery, right? And so you're going to just go in, have the surgery, and come home. Best kind. Then if you're going into that type of procedure, that there's a whole lot less to stress about. It's different if, you got to be under the operating table for 8 or 9 hours and you got to stay maybe a week in the hospital. But surgeries like that, we've had a lot of. You'll be fine. Just take it with a grain of salt. Just trust me when I say just take it with a grain of salt. The kids are thankfully stepping in and they don't come around no more. What? Tony says the kids are thankfully stepping in it. They don't come around no more. I'm not for sure what you mean by that. Stepping in it, what is it? Dog poop? And they don't come around anymore because they've been, you want the dog to shit around the outside of the perimeter so the kids don't hang around the house? Is that what you're getting at? Let me get chat caught up here. Good evening, Dave, and chat from Joe. Joe, good to see you. Dennis, good luck, soul. God bless you, my friend. From Dennis, the Canadian king, the king of Canadian land, the arm candy general. Mike and Venus says, howdy, folks. How are you? Mike, good to see you, my friend. How are you? Hello, J3 from Tim. Everybody say hello to each other. I appreciate that. It helps the chat count and makes my channel look more popular than it is. Another way to cheat, is get everybody to comment multiple times. I've been dropping a couple videos this week. If you haven't seen them, I did one about, what did I do one about? About the blacklist. If you ever want to know what persona non grata is and the blacklist is, I got a video that will explain it. It's a short video, about 6 minutes. You guys go watch that. And we also just did one on getting naked with Doritos. Yeah, you're going to have to watch that one. So and Tim just dropped a new video himself, right, Tim? And Tim, you can drop your link. Joe says, good morning to you, Tim. How are you? So, Mike, how are things in the Philippines? We are getting ready for winter weather here, coming starting Friday midday afternoon into Sunday. We will be getting 5 to a foot, they say, and or ice and snow. Well, no, yeah, how it is. Joe, are you ready for the weather? Are you supposed to get any of this bad weather, Joe, or is it too far south of you, Joe? Just a minute. Tim says, okay, hold on, surgeries in the morning, thankfully. Good. Yeah, get up early, go do it. You know, when you have morning surgeries, it doesn't give you a lot of time to stress and worry about it all day. That's what I like. I hate getting up early in the morning, but it is helpful in that case. Stay warm. Yes, sir, Mike. We will do it. Things are good here. Nice. Remember, if you're blue, you could drop a link or a video or whatever you want to do. Tim has the new video out. I've been dropping some off. Joe says he's going to need to stay off the streets this weekend. Solinder is saying, you guys are all funny. I got probably a foot of snow in the Dakotas. So he's probably laughing at us going, snow, you wussies. There you go. Tim dropped a link. If you guys want to check out his latest video, he needs good watch hours, by the way. I'm trying to get my chat pulled up so I don't have to bend down and look at it all the time. So give me a couple seconds. $9.15. All right, that's not too bad. But you know, and I know surgery's kind of new for you, and but really trust me when I tell you, you're all right. You know, don't worry about it. Don't think about it. Just it's kind of like a job. You're going to work. That's how I was looking at it. Well, my job today is to go have a new pacemaker put in. There you go. That's what I do. What? Hey, Joe, that Anthony's comments were fine. That was a fine comment, Joe. I didn't have a problem with it. I don't know if it's showing up now. Ashley's in the house. Good to see you. What's up with you? So, Anthony said, and Joe hit it quickly, but it's not a bad comment. Hey, I'm not too late for the Naked Doritos video. I'm like, no, perfect. I just released the Naked Dorito video yesterday. So, and I'd advise you to go watch it. It's very important for everybody to watch that video. You're going to learn a lot. I promise. I'm not lying to you. Have you ever known me to lie to you? Don't answer that question, right? All right, now we got it bigger. Everybody say hello to Ashani. Asha Leela Fond. What's up? How are you? How's your great day in the world of YouTube? What do you guys think about YouTubers? Talking about YouTubers. I thought it was funny. I've been hearing a lot of YouTubers, including myself, kind of, talking about YouTubers. What do you guys think about that? I think it's kind of funny. That it's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black, right? I didn't do anything. YT did it before I got it. Interesting. Maybe the word naked, Joe? Maybe the word naked? I don't know. Anthony, is Dudley Do Right here? Who's Dudley Do Right? I'm not for sure which one. I think your comment got black because of the word naked. So I thought it said Joe did it when it came in the message. But thank you all for being members, by the way. Remember, we do have memberships starting at like $1.99. And if you really want the good one, where you get full access to me, it's only $100 a month. Joe says, man, I didn't do anything. Soul says, man, we are having bad wind chills up here. Well, yeah. Yeah, I was talking last time about how I think the best thing for like Minnesota, they need a blizzard. So Joe, I missed your comment up here about the weather. They're calling for at least, so you're going to get a bunch of the snow too. I know I just talked to my brother a little while ago down in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and they're a little worried about the snow event coming towards them. And I'm going to live stream during the snow event, by the way. So I got to thank y'all for being here. The thumbs up. We've got a lot of people in the background hanging out. Don't forget that thumbs up. I'm getting, Pat's not here yet, but I'm getting ready to ship Pat a watch. I got an extra watch I'm going to send him. I have the phone number if I need in touch with you. Yes, you have a phone number for me. Top secret phone number. So yes, but yeah, I don't anticipate any major issues with the bad weather. Just snow, ice, sleet. It's not like it's a tornado going to rip the roof off the house. So I'm not too worried about it. I think it'll be fun watching everybody bitch and complain. All the people talking about it. It's going to be nothing but news for the next few days in my part of the world, which, if I was ballsy and had really warm clothes and it didn't hate the cold, I would go outside and live stream for you in the middle of the snow event. But I'm not going to do that. Just saying, I'm not going to do it. Backlash, my friend, is in the house. Mr. Lorelei, you booger. Backlash, everybody say hello to each other, by the way. And if you guys don't know each other, you're welcome to subscribe. We're not a grow channel, but still, you guys are more than happy to connect. If you're blue, you want to drop your link, you don't have to ask permission. Mr. Backlash Fisherman. Everybody give Mr. Backlash. I like the snow. If it's on YT, it'll be on YT because it ain't going to be, it won't be on my YT. Maybe through the window. You guys want to look at the snow through the window Friday night or Saturday? We're going to do some live streaming over the weekend because the wife and I are going to be stuck in, the real wife. I'm not Mr. Lorelei. She's Mrs. David. We're going to do some live stream stuff, to entertain ourselves because otherwise we may, kill each other. Driving and listening, good deal, my friend. Tony's buddy, a Brit in the Philippines, left his family and went to Cambodia. Damn, a Brit in the Philippines. I got to write that one down because some of these British ones get me confused about which one is which, Dennis. Damn, Dennis. Well, Anthony, is that your buddy? Why'd your buddy abandon his family? Did you give him advice not to do that? See, now we're talking about YouTubers. I got to remember which one he is. Because all these Brits in the Philippines, they all look alike. So, is that horrible of me to say? Maybe that's racist of me to say, but those damn British YouTube channels, they all look alike. Anthony, I'm ashamed of you if you let your buddy go to Cambodia and abandon is it Cambodia? Mike, cave in the roof. Yeah. It would take, how these houses are, I don't know. We know she's the head of the household. Not the way it works in my house. Whatever. You're just jealous because I'm a better fisherman than you. Even though I don't get to go as much as you, you're just jealous that I'm better than you. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to tell your wife on you, by the way. Dennis is in the house. Yes, he is. Anthony is recognizing that Dennis, the arm candy general, is in the house. I was in that video called Naked Dorito. Naked Doritos. Let's get naked. Yes, I made a video yesterday. Remember, everybody, by the way, there's a couple big announcements I need to make on this live stream. But the first one, what I'm thinking in my brain is this. If you want to buy a topless photo of me, just let me know. I sell them for $5 million each. And I got plenty to go. So just hit me up, 5 million American dollars, not those damn pesos. Very important. Supposed to get 12 inches. So here, 5 to 12 is what they're saying. They don't know. It could be where we are is, right in that, they don't know. Hell, it could wind up being 80 degrees on Saturday. Could be wind up being 80 degrees backlash. But no, we're in the same boat as all of y'all. That front's coming through, Texas and Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, Missouri, Kentucky, Indiana, all those other states that I don't go to. So that'll be good. That'll be good. We'll all be snowed in over the weekend. We went to Sam's Club. We got enough food to last 400 years. So if the zombies come to get us, we can lock the door and we can eat food for the next 400 years. And we get really hungry, we do have a hot dog. Woohoo! Wiener dog. Mention of Lily, my wiener dog. So yes, I was in that video called the Naked Dorito. So Dennis, I'll look him up and see. Did he like do the whole abandon thing? Or is he pretending he's going to work on his visa thing? 6 to 8 inches where you are in southern Missouri and Arkansas. Back to work. Boo. Well, but they need you to go back to work, right? So that's good. That's good. He's one of our first responders, so he's good to go back to work. We approve of you going back to work. And thank you for telling all your coworkers about our wonderful channel. There was a comment the other day that on that Naked Dorito video, I think, that I am the greatest YouTuber. So I had to pin that. You don't get that very often, right? Who? Who what? Tony. To who? No, he left. He did a live stream. Oh, wow. Anthony. Dennis said earlier, apparently you're not paying attention. Maybe you're drinking too much, even though it's early in the morning for you. Are you off the booze? He talked about a Brit in the Philippines. Your friend abandoned his family and went to Cambodia, Cambodians. I'm saying it incorrectly intentionally. So if you can pick up my inference on how I'm trying to say the word. Well, you call him Twit. A Twit. Yes, I remember now that you used to do that. Well, apparently he is a Twit in the Philippines, and he went to Cambodia to become a Twit there. So there you go. Maybe I can find him. Should I look him up? Well, we got all of, I was on the live stream last night for a little while. Brian filling the Philippines, and I thought it was funny because I like Brian. He's a nice enough guy. I was listening to him kind of complain about YouTubers doing what he does, and I thought that was just, it sparked my interest because I'm like, okay, so Brian's complaining about these other YouTubers like Pro Life and the regular guy and these other ones being perverted and doing Walking Street and all this other crap. But that's kind of how he got started, right? And doing the Walking Street thing. And then he's complaining that they don't even bother to help grow anybody's channel. They always want to partner with somebody, do a collaboration, but they don't, want to help out smaller channels. They just want to connect to bigger channels. Well, the logic is you can't connect with the bigger channel, you got a better chance of reaching a bigger audience, right? But then again, I've never seen Anthony try to promote small channels. So it just kind of made me think, I found your friend, a Brit in the Philippines. I feel like I'm getting noise somewhere. Anthony says, I call him a twit. Going to Cambodia, that's all BS. With the guy, he didn't mention his video signal is weak breaking up here. I think I did this for you. He fails to realize life isn't always about him anymore. That's correct. If you're going to raise children and have a woman, you got to share your life, unfortunately. Or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it. But I remember him now. I did pull up his YouTube channel, so I kind of remember his face now. Some of these, you know, like I said, all these Brit people, man, they look the same. Let's see. Well, he's a twit. If there's anything to get views, he forgets he has 3 other people to support and take care of, I think is what you got. So Anthony is jealous because he has bigger hooters than him. Well, Tony, come on. Don't be jealous of that. Tony's gained some weight while he's living in the Philippines. Everybody else loses weight. Tony's the only expat I know who's gained weight living in the Philippines. I don't know how the hell that happened, Tony. Tony's right. Our friend, a Brit in the Philippines, does look a little chunky. Let's see how he looks on his last video. Did he have a last video? Let's see. Videos. Latest. Videos, latest. Well, I don't know. Yeah, he looks, his face looks skinnier. Right? But let me see here. Because I saw Tony a while back, so let's see if he shows himself. Well, Tony, I'm going to tell you this. I can't say 100% that you're absolutely correct about your statement, but I think you're 99.9% correct on that. I can't say 100%, but, you know, from his neck down, he kind of looks like a girl. Maybe he's doing the hormones. Maybe he wants to become a lady tuber. So I don't know. Maybe that's it. He wants to become a lady tuber. Yeah, I could see him becoming a lady tuber. But I find that interesting that we're all talking about each other. We're not talking about anything good like Naked Doritos or what, you know, the blacklist is, but, you know, we're all talking about each other. My phone reception is bad today. Ooh, the planet has not aligned correctly for you. He's a twit. Oh my goodness. Well, did he just get tired of the family life and decided to go get a new Cambodian life? And thank y'all for the thumbs up, by the way, if you haven't done that. So what other YouTuber is a twit besides me? That's what I'm asking. I found it, I really did on Philly in the Philippines live stream last night for a little bit, how I found some of it, and I like them, but I just think some of it is funny. You know, now everybody apparently is bad. All of it. Now look, here's the good thing, I guess. People like you and me and Tim, all of us little people that don't have more than 50,000 subscribers, we're apparently nobodies, so we're not worth talking about, or we're no threat. We're not a factor. We're not even in the conversation with these other YouTubers because we're not YouTubers, they are. So, you know, I think it's interesting how much they all want to challenge each other about who has the right type of YouTube channel, who's doing it wrong. He forgets about life. You think he's the only one in it. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, a lot of us do that from time to time. You know, a lot of us forget about daily life. And but if he does it on a regular basis, then, you know, maybe he just doesn't feel like the Philippine people, his counterparts, have any value because they're beneath him because he's British. You know how these damn British people are, man. They think they're way up here. They think they're better than everybody. You can do whatever you want on YouTube. Yeah, you can. You can, but I think it's, and I agree. I mean, and I don't care what people do on YouTube. I think it's fun. I put stuff out there to get anything out. If it's cool, if it's not, it's okay. Yeah, but I think what a lot of these, I guess where I was kind of going with that a little bit was, are they really producing any content other than basically challenging each other about the same topics? Because look, all of them are the same damn topics. How to date, how to do the visas. Because I've done all those. I got all those videos too. So there's 50,000 million videos on how to do, we're all talking about the same topics. And I guess the big boys, they want to be considered the YouTubers, the vloggers in the Philippines, so much so that everybody else is garbage, that everybody else, and some of them are perverted. I agree. Look, some of them are just creepyoids and they're doing the creepy stuff. Some have really good family channels and they use that to grow, which is fine. Some of them are more travel stuff. But the travel stuff, and the family stuff is sometimes interesting because they have interesting topics, So I don't know. But I just, with the situation with pro-life and Regular Guy and Tim K and Elliot Eastman, who we've all talked about, and all these other people, it's kind of like, well, who's next? Who's going to be the next YouTuber to get kicked out of the Philippines? Who's the next, one that the Philippines is going to turn on? Well, and I think that's an interesting concept because I think what's funny is, and maybe I would too if I had 100,000 subscribers, that I think a lot of these people think they have a lot more power than they do, right? So they think they have the power to affect other people's channels negatively. And the big question is, well, why would you care unless you're just trying to get likes and clicks and likes, right? So why do you care? Now, get it, somebody's doing a behavior that got him deported, which is he got deported because his visa elapsed, no other reason. He got persona non grata because he's a turd. Not my skid, Mark Dave has subscribed to the channel. Thank you, and thank you for the thumbs up. So, it's like, there's a point where, is it a good thing? Is it an okay thing to just basically bash all the other channels? Because I see a lot of people on these, because I sit back and watch a lot of the lives. And I'm like, well, you guys are all just talking trash, and then people are disagreeing with you, and say, no, well, you're doing the exact same thing. You're doing this, you're doing that. So how can you call the pot black, the kettle called whatever? What is that? Thank you for subscribing. I'm working on my weight loss. I am not really butt. Slacker. Well, we all need to work on our weight loss. The year 2026, here's the goal. For you, Tony, you should lose 2.6 pounds a month, make it a month, until you get to your desired weight. Everybody for the year should lose 2.6 pounds a month. How's that? We'll start a new goal. Oh, and by the way, we're going to do in April, don't have a date set, but here's my other big announcement. We're going to try to do a baby shower live stream virtual thing in April for Jamie. Tony, I know you know her. So we'll do a live stream. I'll do a StreamYard live stream. I'll get it all set up and advertise it way in advance. But we're going to try to do a live stream, StreamYard, to do this weird virtual baby shower, which I've never seen done in the world. So we will be the first to ever do one, and that will make us trendsetters. That will make us big dogs in the YouTube world. See? And what is creepy? You know, what floating around right now is, like, what is creepy? What did pro-life did a lot of creepy things. The regular guy asking the girl to, hey, I can give you 400 pesos if you show me your boobs type thing. People were saying that's creepy and inappropriate, even though he's in the area where all the hookers are. So that's something I thought was funny last night as people were talking about, well, if you're asking, there's probably a difference between offering a hooker 400 pesos to show boobs versus offering some person in your community, right? In a normal Filipino community that lives in a neighborhood for that. So, because I think at least the walking street girl probably knows it and expects it and has been there, done that. He is, yeah, I think he's a good guy too. I watched him for a long time, Tony, and I know he's looking for different things. We all are. I do think, that, and I like him, and I've gone on his panel, and I'll go on his panel again, and I like the guy, let me say that. And I think he's done a really good job with his channel, and he's done a lot of things where he's not done anything bad, so that's good. But what I'll say is, I think he's becoming a little bit more judgmental the older he gets. I think he's becoming a little bit more, they're not doing it the way I would do it. So, it's really not cool. So, and I know people's values change as we age. I know that happens. I know they were talking about, oh God, I can't remember his name. Shit. Man, I forget names so easily these days. Everything he does says over there is for views and super chats. Yeah, it is, Tony. It is. And I can't blame him for that because it's a business. And I guess that's how I look at it is this. And I'm not picking on him at all. I'm not picking on him. I'm not bashing him or picking on him. I just like to talk about subject matter. And the subject matter is simply talking about people. I got a speaker on somewhere. Hang on. There it is. But here's my separation. My separation is just acknowledge that this is my business. My business is to talk about you. My business is to make content. Don't act like it's not. No matter who you are, pro-life, anybody, Bud Brown in the Philippines, the content really is not about anything else about clicks and views. But just admit it, own it, and be okay with it. Tim says, regular guy is Manila now. He's on the run, so I've heard. Well, there's a lot of internet people bashing him. And I don't know the guy, never watched his channel. Because apparently, he propositioned a prostitute, offered to pay her 400 pesos to show him her boobs, right? And the big debate to me is, and he said, yeah, when people call him out about it, saying how inappropriate that was, I think what they're looking at, well, that would be inappropriate. But did the hooker mind? Then of course he had to come back and say, he said, well, I was drunk when it happened. Forgive me, I was drunk. Well, then you got the whole topic of, well, being drunk doesn't excuse your behavior. But then the other side of that coin is, well, it's not like she was a girl that lived in a house in a neighborhood, normal girl who's never been a hooker, right? And he's doing that too, propositioning. He's doing that. So is there a good or bad or right or wrong in that? And I think that's a valid point. So yeah, I think a lot of people are after him, and I guess there's a lot of channels like Anthony's and all these other channels now want to get him kicked out. And I think part of that is why they want him gone is because he's a threat to the success of their channels. And it's a news cycle, just like here in America. So if a regular guy can be in hot water for a week or two, well, then they can get a lot of clicks and views off a regular guy. But it also eliminates one competition. Anthony says, you can choose whatever channel you want to view and listen to the same comment no matter where and what. Being a good person has its factor for me. I agree. Craig is in the house. Hello, everybody. Say hello to Greg. Hello, Tony and Chuck. Good to see you, Craig. He has done things very inappropriate for a long time. I would agree. I didn't know who he was until the other day when everybody started complaining about him. But it appears that he's his channel is a channel that I would not find appropriate. I wouldn't enjoy. And I wouldn't appreciate. So, Tony said, hello to you, Craig. Craig, how are you, Craig? We're getting ready to have a winter blizzard here. We're all going to die of icicles out of our nose and face and everything. So next time you see me, I'm going to have snow all over me and be covered and be frozen to death. Pat's in the house. Good evening, everybody. Everybody said hello to Pat. Craig, everybody said hello to each other. Hello, Brother David. Good to see you. Hello. Craig says to Pat and Tim. Hello, Brother Tim. So, but my question is, out of everybody talking about this, was he inappropriate by propositioning a prostitute? Because isn't that her job to be propositioned? It's not like he did it to a nun or a girl at Jollibee trying to collect the money. So is it offensive if I go to a tire shop, say, hey, I need you to change my tire? Isn't that kind of what he was doing there? Pat says, hello. We're expecting snow here in about forever. There you go, man. Craig says, I came for a lunch break and saw you live. I'm glad you did. It's always better when you're here. And Craig, I'll tell you, we are going to try in April to do a StreamYard live stream for Jamie's baby shower. I don't have a date yet, but I'll advertise it and get it figured out. So hopefully everybody will come and say happy baby-ish stuff. But I'll let you know. I don't know, probably mid-April. So everybody can come on and say, hey, happy baby. Pat says, hello, dear. Hello, Brother Dennis. Dennis is in the house. He is. Galactic Gaming. There's my friend. How are you, buddy? Howdy. It's late. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I'm sorry I haven't checked in for a while. I know. I've been thinking about you the other day. I was. I'm getting ready, Galactic Gaming, to send my friend Pat up here a watch. I had some extra watches in my closet that I don't like. They're not my style, or I don't want them in my rotation, and they're not expensive watches. So I got one boxed up. I haven't got it packed and shipped yet, but I'm going to send him a watch. He likes watches, so I'm going to send him one of my mini extras. Everybody said hello to Galactic Gaming. We appreciate him. Shower or birth? Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Is it different? I don't know, Craig. We're just going to fake it until we make it. Try to get as much mileage out of it. We're going to try to get as much clicks and views out of it as we can. That's why we do everything we do. David, when you come back to the Philippines for a visit, you need to stop by at our house. We will. Not only will we stop by, but we plan on moving into it and kicking you guys out. Yeah. And taking all your food. Just going to say. I sense it. The forest told me to come by and say hi. I've been pretty busy recently, but it started to calm down now. More time to chill out with you guys. Galactic Gaming has a watch website, by the way. So he's a watch seller and a smart boy like me. Well, we're glad you're here, buddy. We're getting ready to have a snow event for us, is what we're getting ready to have this week. So, yeah. I think Lorelai and I are planning to be back in 27. We got a land deal we have to finish or take care of paperwork in 2027, and we got to make some decisions. So our plan currently is to be back in 2027. Now, we're not going to stay the whole month in one place because that'd be boring. Watch the watch. That's right, Craig. Craig, did you see my video about being naked? I got naked with Doritos. Yes, I did. Boy, Craig, you'd like it. Or maybe you want it. I don't know. Either way, there's a new naked video out there. See, I'm using those buzzwords, the clickbait words. You know, we got to click the views. Tim's got to go to the gym and get his workout in. Tim, have fun, buddy. We appreciate you. So I don't know. I mean, I don't have a problem with anybody talking about any YouTube channel. I think it's, just the way YouTube is. And that's the other thing that came up in the last few days was, well, isn't it kind of pathetic that everybody is talking about everybody and criticizing everybody? And I'm sitting there going, well, it may be pathetic of all of us to do this, but isn't this what we do? We have open discussions. It's kind of like the water cooler, the modern day water cooler, right? You go to work and hey, did you hear? All right, let me get caught up here. Tess, so upset about a package. So upset about a package. Uh-oh. Hi, Pat, Aussie, Tony, everybody. I logged out for a minute. I missed your reply. I was telling them that you're an outstanding young man like me, not as handsome as me, and that you do sell watches, is what I was trying. I was trying to plug your watch business, my friend. So, Craig, see you. Tim, hello, Dennis. You got some Kleenex? Oh my God, what road are you going down, Craig? Pat says hello to you, Galactic Gaming, good to see ya. Even though we're gonna be buried up in the snow 900 feet tall, and we're gonna have to eat snow for the rest of our lives because there'll be no food on the planet. In relationship to Doritos packaging. So yeah. Talking about the naked part or the tasty part? It really raised a lot of questions with me. And I didn't say everything I thought about the Doritos packaging. So maybe they will give me a phone call and I can explain to them how to do it correctly. Respect. I'm trying to get into reselling secondhand Tissot. Ooh, those are nice. And diesel watches. Hard to find and trust it. It is. I'm sending Pat an Invicta. I just put a new battery in it. So I'm going to send this to Pat. I got his address. So I just got to I got to get a box to ship it in. I'm trying to find a little box to ship this box in. And then I'll get it out in the mail. Now with the snow blizzard coming, it may be a day or two, but it'll be there. Hey, Pat. Yes. I'm just telling you, man. What if you guys don't realize how good of a life coach I am for all of the YouTube? That's what I'm here for. Secondly, I'm here to tell every company how to do business. I'm okay with that. All they got to do is ask, and I'll explain to them what the right thing to do is. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. It's just not. All you got to do is ask. I'll tell you how it is. So, there you go. But yes, so complaining about YouTubers when you're no better than the YouTubers that are being complained about. That's what I love about this YouTube world. And it's all okay. It's okay if we do this. It's okay to complaining about, It's okay in the world to try to tear down your competition. And that's one thing I don't like, and I will say this part. I got to turn my little fan on because I'm hot. The tearing down, your competition. I get that you're competitive and you want to be the big dog on YouTube, but people see you for who you are. When you go after people negatively or you tear people down, people do see that. People aren't as stupid as we think they are, right? So when somebody criticizes or does something creepy, we know what they're doing. When No Dog New Trip has a bunch of girls on there, we know what he's doing, right? When we know Baby May does whatever Baby May does, we know what she's doing. We know what they're on. We know it. We get it, right? Round and around in circles. Yes, sir. It is. It's the life of YouTube, the life cycle of YouTube. And I know a lot of people apparently are very excited about Regular Guy because they're hoping to talk about him a lot more. I don't really know him. I've never really watched his stuff. I I heard them complaining about how he interviewed a 14-year-old. All right. So here's what I kept hearing from people. He interviewed a 14-year-old. And something about that bothered me. It's kind of like there has to be more to the story. So I actually went and found the video, and you know what he did? He interviewed a 14-year-old schoolboy and the schoolboy's mom, talking about living in the Philippines and school and how expensive the school was. I watched a little bit of that, and I said, he didn't, and what they were saying was kind of like he interviewed a 14-year-old sex worker, or they were indicating it was a girl. They all kind of talked like he interviewed a girl, a young girl in the slums of the Philippines. That's not what it was. I don't know the guy, but I did click on that, and I'm like, now look, that's a boy, and that's his mom, and he's interviewing him about the cost of school and how hard it is to stay in school because of the money. I'm like, not many big dogs out of 300 million. Oh, that's a good point. Is there 350 million channels? I didn't know that. Holy smoking butt farts. Man, I'm not even a blip on the radar then, Greg, am I? Groundwork, yeah. So at least if you're going to criticize, be honest about the criticism, right? Don't run your mouth and it be false. If you want to talk shit about somebody, make sure it's legit. Because when you talk shit about somebody and it's not legit, well, when we all go and figure out it's not, then now we think you're a piece of crap, that you're a liar, that you're spilling falsehoods. And so then that can reduce your credibility. So now you're just a drama queen, a liar, a false seller, a storyteller. You're not trustworthy in your analysis. So, I don't know. But I saw that on a bunch of different channels. Oh, he interviewed a 14-year-old. I'm like, something doesn't seem right about that. Because I don't think the guy is stupid. I mean, I think he's creepy, but I don't think he's stupid. So we had to go and check that one out. Then I still asked the question about the prostitute. But what do I know? But supposedly he's the next one on the radar that everybody hates. I don't know how many he has subscribers, but apparently, they're all chasing him with pitchforks. Truth or not, all for drama, Craig says. Too lazy to do anything. Yeah, that's kind of what I mean, Craig. Anthony says, I love it when I don't do all that I can do just to look at somebody and listen to see him doing it to themselves. Yeah, I agree. Too lazy. Yeah, I agree. It's like a lot of these guys are too lazy. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm too lazy to start any original content. Because, and of course, then when this raises the question in history, is there any new content? Is there any new stories? There's not. We've talked about everything under the sun for millenniums. It's the same stuff. They come, they go. Yes, any vacations coming up, I'm dying for a getaway. No, we're poor this year. We're not going anywhere. Sadly, we're not. It's not on the radar. I'd like to do, but it's just not on the radar. We're planning for 2027 to go to the Philippines to take care of some business. We may spend a couple weeks there and then go over to like Singapore or Hong Kong or something like that for 2 weeks. But I even got to set up, that's going to be an expensive trip, so I got to budget that. But you should go on vacation. You're young and healthy and filthy rich, drive a fancy car, wear fancy watches. Pat is asking, do you know Philippine Antics? No, I'm not familiar with that channel. I guess nobody can come up with any, so maybe that's a new channel, a new title. At least it's a little different. Now, it doesn't sound, just from the title, like a very good channel, because antics usually are coded with a little bit of negativity, a little bit of roughness, a little bit of rudiness, a little bit of rowdiness, a little bit of provocativeness. So, and maybe that's what his channel is about. I don't know. Pat, what's her channel? Well, and thank you for bringing that up, Pat. Me too, man. I paid off my credit cards. Outstanding. So pretty cash poor. Yes, same here. We're all Pat. Yeah. I don't feel like racking them back up. I agree with you. Hopefully in 27. Yes. I subscribe to her channel and she lives in the Philippines. Welcome. All right, I'll check her out. I've been stacking up precious metals. Nice. Keeping them for a long while. Good. Keep them. It's a good investment. Precious metals are really good. So that brings up the other question. You know, I've seen this in a couple of live streams over the last few days, the last week, talking about how Filipina's channel, Filipina P, and some of the other Filipina bigger channels, the women channels, are talking about the exact same subjects: sex, prostitution, all of these other things that the guy channels are talking about. But since they're women, apparently Filipina, then it's okay. But it's literally the exact same topics that the other people were talking about. But the other people are wrong, and they are not negatively affected. They don't have people chasing them down with pitchforks. But you get, is it because these other guys are white guys? Is it because they're guys? Is it because they're expats? What is it? Needs Jenny Craig. Jenny Craig. I don't know. Oh, Jenny Craig was a diet person. Wasn't she a diet person? Whatever happened to Jenny Craig? Well, Tony is correct. They go together. But I like to ask questions. And if you talk about the bad YouTubers, and this was what makes them bad, right? If you got another group of people doing it, maybe they're, I don't know, Puerto Ricans. I don't know. We don't have, see, in my world, there's two genders, males and females. So you got a group of males that are doing topics and doing things, and that's bad. But you got a group of females that are doing it, and that's okay. Is it really? That's the question I have. I don't know the answer to that. You haven't heard about Jenny Craig in a long time? I haven't either. Man, that was in the 90s, I think. Jenny, oh God, Anthony. Tony says, Jenny Craig died because she weighed 450 pounds. Yes. Yes, but the truth cannot be spoken anymore, Tony. I agree. You cannot, without bearing the brunt of bullcrap, talk about the truth. You can't. You can't talk about racism or finances or politics, or medical, or people will jump on you. And I think the world is really and truly about jumping on people now. It's more fun to criticize. It's more fun to challenge, to argue, versus it is to have an open dialogue or to accept that other people have a different point of view from you. Just it. Yeeps. So, you know what I mean? Which is sad to me because I like everybody's point of view. That's why on my channel, we talk about politics, we talk about medical stuff, we talk about everything we want to talk about, as long as we don't use bad terminology. We can openly talk about things. And if the live stream gets demonetized, that's okay. But I like to talk about, topics that are relevant. The lady was 4'8", that 400, holy crap, that's heavy for a 4'8" frame. Yeah, she was a blackhead lady, right? That's pretty round. So, what did she, I might have to Google her, because now I don't remember what she did. I'm going to have to Google, let me Google Jenny Craig. Because I don't remember too much about her. I'm trying to, well, I guess you could still buy her meal plans. $8.57 a day. You can buy food. She'll just send you food. It's $60 a week plus $10 shipping a day. So a total of $129 for a week. You get 14 breakfasts, 14 entrees, and 14 shakes. They don't have her name on here. I mean, they don't have her face on here. Let me see if I can find a picture of her. I don't know which one she is. There's thousands of pictures of women and Jenny related to Jenny Craig. Oh, there she is. Okay. I have found out in my life that I only want to be around people. I don't judge an entire race. I go by person or personal individuals. I would agree. I think that's the best way to be. You got to judge individuals. But is it our job to judge individuals at all? You know, is it okay if we make money out of judging people? You know, one thing we don't want to do, and I can't find, let me just see if I can find how she died. Well, you're judging this fat lady right now, Tony. You said she was 450 pounds. All right, Anthony. Apparently, Jenny Craig is alive and currently 92 years old. Uh-huh. Even though she's old, she's involved in some charity stuff. Apparently Jenny Craig's business is not active as much, I guess, or something. So apparently, she's 92 years old, living somewhere. Doesn't say where she's living. Apparently she's married to some old guy that looks like me, or maybe it looks more like Kenny Rogers. Oh, young Anthony, you were incorrect. Pat agrees, came into law here 36 hours ago. Craig did. Hate speech laws, okay. Australia is now effed up. Ooh. So you guys got a lot of drama happening, Craig, right? So you got some real infighting, right? Now we have hate speech laws here in America, we do. But you can say whatever you want. You can't just invoke violence. So you can use words, but if it leads to violence, then it's attached to the violent, and it's called a hate crime enhancement. I don't know if you can go, I don't know in America if you can go around and saying racist things out in public and be prosecuted for it. I don't think if you're just walking up and down the street, you know, making fun publicly of like Asian people, and you didn't hurt anybody or attack anybody, I think in America that's still considered free speech. I do think writing it, mailing it, emailing it can be a criminal offense because there's some laws about the FCC, Federal Communications Commission, and things like that. But I think if you're just out in the park walking around, I don't think that is it. Now, do you guys have paid agitators in Australia? We have paid paid agitators here. And I had a dream about them last night. That's part of why this came to me. Talking about bad YouTubers. Brink of civil unrest suit. Well, now you're guilty until you've proven yourself innocent in Australia. No intent. If someone fears what you say, no proof, just feelings. Shit. Yeah, here, feelings don't come in still yet. Now, if the Democrats would have won, we would have been to that point where if you hurt somebody's feelings, you would have went to jail. But we're not there yet. You can hurt somebody's feelings and it's free speech or whatever. You can't do that. So ours is shifted back. Yeah, you can't invoke violence. You can't stir unrest. You can't scream at the top of your lungs, though. That's creating a disturbance. But you can say whatever you want to say in America. And if it hurts somebody's feelings, then they need to walk away and go away. But I had a dream about the paid agitators, thinking I was interviewing one. I don't know why I was interviewing one, but I was interviewing a paid agitator. And I was asking her, how did you become a paid? What qualifications do you have? What qualifications do you need to be a paid agitator? And I'm thinking, well, okay, paid, in my weird dream, it's like, well, I wonder if it's okay if you're disabled. Can you still be a paid agitator if you're disabled? Do you got to pay taxes on that income that you're getting for being a paid agitator? It was a really weird dream that went down that whole rabbit hole. Say, well, obviously you're unemployed. Are you getting unemployment benefits while you're being a paid agitator? So it was a really weird dream where I went down this weird rabbit hole with them about their finances. 500 pages illustration with 3 days to scrutinize it using Bondi to escape. Oh my God. Well, that doesn't sound very good, Craig. How do you think it's going to have a long-term effect on Australia? Do you think businesses will move out because they're worried about not getting a fair shake? What do you think will happen long-term? Do you think you'll just have people challenging it and fighting it personally? Only exemption is religious text. Defeats the whole purpose of what they say brought in for. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, and we had a situation in America, if you didn't know, that's hot in the news, where Don Lemon, who used to work for CNN as a reporter, got fired. He hangs out with a group of paid agitators. And what they did, if you didn't see this on the news, is in Minneapolis, this group of paid agitators stormed a Christian church in service, interrupted the service, started yelling at the people in there praying, singing, and doing whatever they were doing, totally stopped the religious service, totally, ran people off, called them names, which is a gigantic violation of the First Amendment rights in America. So, right now, there is enough federal law broken in that incident to arrest a shitload of them. Because one thing here in the United States is you can't do that. You can't interrupt. So I think this may be a turning point for some of our rioters, for some of those people. They have now broken federal law on camera. They broke the sanctimony of a church. They can't do it to a mosque. They can't do it to a church. They can't do it to a temple. You can't do it to anything. And they did it. All on camera, live. Jesus Christ. Even associated clubs or political parties, they don't agree with us up to 18 years. It sounds like you're living in Nazi Germany. I think that's part of the lobbyists. Yes, Tony? Storybox channel has more details, info. All right, I'll check it out. So you guys now are the new Nazi Germany. Congratulations on that. Remind me not to come to Australia. So, wow, that's scary. So what's going to happen to your country, Craig, when China attacks you? Is your government going to fight back and say, no, I can't, nobody can fight back because that might hurt their feelings? You can't fight back to the Chinese as they're attacking us, taking over our country, because that would hurt their feelings? Good comparison. They started democratically elected. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, good. Yeah, Nazi Germany. Yeah. It kind of sounds like where you go and show me your papers, you know. Don't speak harshly about anything that goes against what the ruling party says is okay to speak about, right? Even Chairman Mao, where they got to, you know, have a picture of Chairman Mao or whoever he is in the houses, right? Every house has to have one. Kim Jong-un in North Korea, every house has to have a picture of him. Yeah, I'm going to take them on. The government is causing me fear. There you go. But then they're going to say the government is immune to that. The government can't do that. The government cannot create fear. That's what they're going to now say. So, but we have the whole religious thing, you know, with the Muslims under hot water, the Somalis in Minnesota and other places, the fact they wanted to do Shiite law, a lot of that's being backed off. You know, a lot of them are running to hide for a while. They're going to go hide, and then when things calm down, they're going to come back and try it again. We know a lot of us know what's going to happen. So it's going to swing back and forth for a while. But what's funny is the whole entire world, and this is something that's been brought out on the news in America, would be so pissed off if this same group of people went into a mosque or a synagogue. It would be all over the world. It would be demand for retribution. But since it was just a Christian church, you know. Dropping off a thumb. Thank you for that, Anyfin. We appreciate you. Heading to bed. Just got home from work. A long day. I saw you were live earlier. Yes, cold weather for you. You're going to get some more snow like we are, I think. So, Craig dropped her link. I'll watch it a little bit later, Craig, about how we are feeling. I appreciate you, Anyfin. You fell through the ice? Damn. Why? Don't do that. That's bad. Man, that's not good. That's why you got to wear waders, you know, and a floaty. You got to put floaties on your arms. So when you fall through, you know, you'll be okay. Man, well, I'm glad you're all right. Because obviously if you went to work and you're driving home, you survived it, so you're doing okay. We're getting ready for a bunch of snow in my part of the world, along with Texas and Oklahoma and Kansas and Missouri and everybody else. Yeah, all good. Nice, nice. Philippine Antics Channel. She's a female from the United States, lives in the Philippines, married to a Filipino. Oh, all right. That's good. That's good. You know, I am a little surprised. Not really. She seems like a good channel. All right, that's good. Correct one? All right. I opened it. So Anthony Albanese is a coward and a traitor to Australia. Is that the right one? And another big question I had from watching some of these newer couples channels, because, you know, we're couples, I kind of try to go watch those other channels. One, to see if I can help them, and two, if I can't steal their subscribers, you know. So, one thing I'm starting to see about a lot of these couple channels, they seem to be having financial problems. Now, it's not like me e-begging for $5 million. I don't think they're intentionally e-begging, and that's not what they're doing, but they seem to be having a lot of hardships. I think a lot of expats aren't getting their financial ducks in a row as much as they think they are before they go to the Philippines. This is what I am seeing by a lot of these guys. They have not, they think they have, or they think they got enough money to do what Tony did and buy a luxury mansion and have servants all around them and live out the rest of his days eating caviar, lobster, and drinking Red Horse instead of piss water or other beer. So, but then the reality hits, and I don't think it's expensive to live there, but it can be expensive to live there. So, and I don't know their financial situations because they, you know, I've offered to, I always offer to give guidance and help if anybody wants to talk behind the scenes about finances for the Philippines. I've done it a bunch, happy to do it. But I've been watching some of these channels and talking to some of these people, not about their money, but just kind of listening and learning about them. And I'm a little surprised how many of them don't seem financially okay. They seem to be struggling. I don't know if that's the new norm in the Philippines. I don't know if it's the Philippines is getting more expensive. I don't know if it's because a lot of these guys and girls don't figure out their finances as well as they thought. Or, you know, they get there and now they got to support mom and dad and Billy and Bobby and Joey and Lily and Daisy and Piggy and Wachi and Coca-Cola and everybody else. And so their money is being depleted by many, many, many sources. And I know we've all seen these videos lately of the fraud that's gone on. You know, I saw it popped up on my stuff the other day about the one girl that stole, you know, what was it? I can't remember, like 1 million pesos from her boyfriend, husband, or something by gambling. She got hooked up into gambling on the gambling websites and lost 30,000 pesos a day, and it just kept getting worse and worse. So that one, and then there's another one out there about another Filipino wife who took the house. That one came back around, so, and got rid of the expat, you know. So I don't know, and I think even Enrique did a video, something about giving advice again to people, expats, about how not to get taken. And I messaged him and said, what I don't understand is, after all of these many thousands of years that live stream and that YouTube, I didn't say all that to him. I said it much shorter, of course. But you got to ask yourself, with all of these many thousands of years that YouTube has been around and people have been going to foreign countries to live, all right? But all the thousands and thousands of 350 million YouTube channels talking about this topic, how do we still get people not listening, not following, not heeding the advice of all of these other people telling them exactly the same thing? You know, I grew up with the concept of, look, you listen to everybody, so, but you find the common denominator, and that's the truth. If you got 10 people talking about one subject, if there's a common denominator, a common theme, a common fact, then that's the truth, usually. So if you got all of these brilliant people like me and a few of the others who are talking and giving advice and you still don't understand it or you fall into the trap. I don't understand that. And then you want to complain about it. You want to cry about it. You want to e-beg about it. You need to save up the money to get home now. You need to do this. You need to do that. You need to do all these different things in the world. When are people going to learn? Are they ever going to learn? I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think people can learn? Or do you think at this point and stage in the world history that we're done learning? You think people cannot understand things? They don't, or do they not believe it? Which is it? Do they not believe it, or they cannot understand it or comprehend it? That's what I wonder about this, because I see it over and over and over. And then, of course, you got people like Anthony's twat friend who ran away from his family. So you got the other side of the coins. You got the side where the dude gets taken advantage of, and then you got the side where the dude runs off or abandons. But the people of these foreign countries should know that's a possibility, right? Because if you got a passport to get into a country, you got a passport to get out of a country. Plain and simple. I don't know. I just don't know. And then, of course, now we have Australia, who's doing all kinds of weird crap and becoming Nazi Germany. So don't travel to Australia unless you want to visit Nazi Germany. I'm looking at that YouTube channel Pat is recommending. See, even she does a video about who's next, the brutal reality of expats and bloggers in the Philippines. Talking about Vitali and all those other guys that are getting booted, got in trouble. So even she, which is fine, is talking about the people talking about the people talking about the people. And Pat is right. It looks like she's an American woman who married a Filipino man. So a totally different perspective on that. And I hate to be mean. She seems like a nice person. But that's probably the only guy she could get to marry her. So, but what do I know? And I will ask the question, if we're going to categorize these as bad vloggers, because you notice they're not really from America, right? I just wanted to throw that out there. I mean, Tim K is, or was, I don't know where he's at now, but Vladimir's from Russia, the other guy's from Estonia, you know, this guy's from, see, it's not Americans. Americans aren't the problem, people. Americans are the good ones. Just, I want to throw that out there. Remember that. As Americans not only are handsome, charming, but we're good. We're not the problem. And I know by now everybody has to know, and I guess a lot of it depends, and I talked about this a while back, about ethics and morals. I think you got to have your own set of ethics, your own set of morals. But I think you have to understand where you're at and what the consequences of the surrounding environment that you're in. If you're in an environment that is counter to your morals or your ethics, then what do? Do you expect that environment to change to you? Or do you assimilate to that environment? And that's my question. Do you expect foreign countries to assimilate to you? Or are you expected to assimilate to them? I think we all know that question, the answer to that question. We all know it, right? Everybody in the world knows this, except for maybe some Muslim extremists. They believe like they should just take over America, Australia, Britain, everybody else. So let's exclude the Muslim fashion out of this. Most normal people all know that if I'm in Japan and Japan doesn't like A, B, and C, but I am okay with A, B, and C. If, for instance, they think it's horrible to kill butterflies, and in America, I run around collecting butterflies and I stick them on my walls because they're really pretty. Should I go and do that in Japan? And I know that's kind of a weird thing because it's not really a moral value. So, ethical judgment, right? So I think that's what we have to ask ourselves. If you're in the state of Missouri and they don't like, you can't marry a girl under the age of 16, and you come from California where you could marry a 10-year-old, what do? I guess you take the 10-year-old back to California, I guess, is what they do there. But you get my point. So one, I agree we should not feel sorry for the ones we're all talking about. Any of them. You should never, I'm reminded of the movie The Jerk. And I've said this before. The movie The Jerk has a scene in it where, I can't remember, there's a guy that comes to Steve Martin who's got all this money from his OmniGrab. And he talks about that he needs, $1 million so that he can replace the leather seats in his private jet because he can't bear the thought of his friends sitting on cracked leather seats in his private jet. And Steve Martin says, oh, yes, yeah, that's okay. I understand. Oh, no, you can't be embarrassed. Same crap. Same crap. Different crap. Same crap. Different crap. I don't know. I don't understand it, but that's all right. Maybe it's not for us to understand. Maybe it is for us to understand. Let's see what else is going on. Oops. Let me get over here. So, snow event, church been invaded. Australia is turning into Nazi Germany. We've discovered that. You got a lot of YouTubers who are bad YouTubers. I got some great videos out there. Expect y'all to watch it, learn it, know it, behave it. I'm trying to check the update to see what the snow thing is. A 2,000-mile long, potentially historic weekend storm will impact 200 million people. So now they're saying over 200 million Americans will be affected by this new weather event, all the way through Texas, down to Galveston, rain and sleet maybe. Rain in South Texas, Florida, Georgia, half of Georgia. But places like Dallas, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, which nobody cares about because everybody hates that. Alabama, half and half. Mississippi, half and half. Georgia, the Carolinas, all snow. Where we are at, we literally are in this trajectory that are the worst of the worst. And then above us is going to be just regular snow up in Missouri. But where we're at this trajectory to get hammered. So it should be fun. It should. Hope it's fun. Hope it's pretty. My wife will probably have to work from home, which is all right. Let me. We're going to try to do some live streaming this weekend. I got some things I want to do. President Trump is in Europe. He may be back by now. He usually just goes over, does what he wants to do, and comes back. There's still the other thing I don't get is and I know there's a lot of them. And I guess there's a lot of people picking on Geo now. I guess the people are going to go, well, pro-life, and then you got regular guy, and now people want Geo and O-Dog the new trick. But O-Dog is so old, he may just die, you know. People don't like Enrique, but apparently Enrique kind of just lays low and does his own thing, and he's not into the drama as much as it seems as some others. And I haven't seen anything where he talks shit about the others. Not lately, anyway. No, my pen is dead. And it looks like we're working out the stuff of Greenland, if you guys are keeping up with that at all, so that we can build our defense forces in Greenland. I worry about our friends in Canada because I think their prime minister is an idiot. You know, we're going to build a golden dome that's going to protect Canada, so they need to be nice or we won't protect them. I'll open it up and just allow the bombs to come in. Reportedly, America has offered $700 billion to buy Greenland. I don't know who we're buying it from. That's the real question. The Danish. That's probably more money than the Danes have seen in my lifetime, right? Or do they, you know, who do you buy it from? Because one thing I saw interesting on the news was it looks like the other, France and a few other countries, what they want is they want some of that money. If we wind up buying Greenland, now that they've raised their heads and said, oh, we support the Danish ownership. I think what they're really saying is the Danish has no say in this. So the rest of us want a cut of the pie, and then we'll tell Danish people to sell the damn island. So, you know, Craig's asking, do I know? Well, I know the normal talking points in America, which are for world defense, our defense, North American defense, the rare minerals that are there. I do think we have the technology and the companies, or the companies that have the technology that can go into Greenland and extract. I think other than that, it's part of the big defense umbrella. It's just like why he took Venezuela's and why Cuba will become not the Cuba of the old, the new Cuba in the next few years. You're going to see a huge shift with how Cuba is ran. So, Greg, what is your thought on why we want the green land, which is nothing but frozen tundra? And, but that's what I think is happening. You know, we could cough up enough money to the Danes and say, Mr. Danes, we want to buy Greenland, which you can't really stop us from doing. So here's how much we can give you. But France and all these other little countries around there said, oh, wait a minute. Here's a way to get Trump to give us some of the money that he's making us give NATO. We're going to say, no, Greenland is sovereign. It can't be sold unless we get a cut of the pie. and then we're happy to sell it. Because everybody knows that the Danes have no military. They have no economy. They have no anything. They are supported by surrounding countries. Wow. Pat says, I just got done cooking, made homemade Salisbury steak, gravy, mashed potatoes. Woohoo! I love me some mashed potatoes. I do. I'm going to try to do some cooking this weekend because it's going to be 27 feet of snow out my door. So maybe Lorelai and I will do some cooking videos together. We got some videos we need to do. Not the biggest crash app in there. Ice declining, cannot move it. Over 1 mile long. Gonna hide it under building soon. Really? Okay. So you're talking about extraterrestrial crash? That'd be all right. We can hide it, take it, use it. But those are, maybe, I don't know, Craig. I've never heard about that crash, to be honest. Never have. Wouldn't surprise me. It's a great place to, why? And there's one thing you got to ask yourself. Why do, I guess besides Roswell, why does it always seem to be they crashed in the polar caps or they're buried under ice, So you got to ask yourself, did they really crash? Or did they bury themselves in the polar ice to hide themselves, to shield themselves? So Pat, are you guys ready for the snow, my friend? Yeah, we got some video making we need to do this weekend. So while Lorelai is stuck home putting up with me, we'll try to have some fun in the kitchen. Not ready? Come on, man. You're an old farm boy. You can handle it. I have confidence in you. Only found in 1987. Do you know who it was found by? Can I Google it, Craig? Is there anything to Google it under? Yeah, it's about in the mid-40s today. My brother was in Dallas area and told me it was like 80 degrees in Dallas. And I told him, well, get ready for the ass kicking. It's coming. And you people in Dallas deserve it. So, it's going to cripple Dallas. But yeah, Craig, is there something another buzzword or two to Google? Is there a buzzword or two? Or would it be just like Greenland 1987 crash? Maybe that's where Santa Claus lives. He's really not at the North Pole, he's in Greenland. I don't know. One thing I know is I have volunteered many times to become an ambassador to other countries, and Greenland is not one of them that I would volunteer to be an ambassador to. That's all I know. 56,000 people living there. It's too cold, and I don't like fish as much as they do. So I've always wanted to be an ambassador to another country. Greenland is not on the short list at all. Let's see if I can search anything. News Nation, Ross, biggest building. I did find something here. UFOpulse.com, the Greenland Anomaly, historic history of UFO nuclear bombs in Greenland. Vice.com says something about NASA stumbling upon a secret city under the ice. Express UFO which crashed millions of years ago found in Greenland. Let's see if I can find any evidence. So alien hunters were using satellite imaging, and they think they found something triangular under the snow in Greenland. They say they found a triangular UFO floating to an iceberg off of Greenland. Because of the way the iceberg was shaped, they assume it's a UFO, okay? That's the key. PSYOPs everywhere. Oh, yeah. Well, sadly, I don't see any pictures. I like pictures. Whether they're fake or not, I like to see pictures. Let's see what they say about this NASA who found a hidden city under the ice. While testing radar instruments in the skies above northern Greenland, NASA researchers actually found a city under the ice. Long abandoned Cold War era military base. Oh, I believe that. Yeah, I think I've seen this. I think I've seen a documentary about the leftover military base that was up there. Yeah, I've seen this, and I believe this is legit. That, yes. Wow. 300 of the triangles coming to the light now. Wow. Oh, the base is built over it. Okay, I got you. Well, even if there was a hint of this, and even if there was no UFO, and we figured out that Russia put a little mini town under it, we would definitely want it, right? Then if you throw in the fact that there's a UFO there, that makes it really, really worth something. And then I think the bigger question is, why would Russia build a base there? Jamie's in the house. Good evening, Jamie. How are you? Good to see you. What's going on in your part of the world? Are you ready for the snow event? You're up north. Are you going to get a lot of snow, or are you just going to get, glazed by the snow? We're supposed to be getting 5 to 6 inches to 12 inches. The base is built over the crown. So yeah, you're preparing for the snow too. We're not. Dennis says, "Wow, preparing for the snow." Dennis says the avocado AV is in the house. 6 to 8 inches, maybe 12. Okay, that's where we're at. We're in that range of getting 12 inches. So it'd be nice. One year we got 24 inches. It'd be nice to have like 7 or 8 feet of snow. Try to see if my dog can dig its way out and go to the bathroom. I have to go out there and dig a hole for it. Hiya, Dennis. No, we don't have that kind of stuff. The good thing is by Monday, it'll start melting and to be in the 40s. The sun will come out. By Tuesday, roads will be clear enough for everybody to go back to work. By Thursday, the kids will be back into school. And it'd be like nothing ever happened. Trump position in 2027 truth. He wants to claim immortality for being the one to realize the truth to the world, wants to control it so he can control the timing. All right. We're going to do the baby shower, I think, in early April, maybe. Dennis, what do you think? We're going to do it on StreamYard, Dennis. So we need to find out what's good for Jamie. And then I can set up a StreamYard, and we can do a virtual baby shower for her, Dennis. And then we can advertise it, market it, whatever, and make it happen. I don't think it'd be real difficult. What do you think, Dennis? Any thoughts? How about Jamie? Jamie, you have any thoughts? Jamie says, Charlie has this weekend off, so he'll be home during the snow. Nice. That means you guys can go out and play in the snow. Need donations for it? Yeah, maybe what we can do is have Jamie, I don't know if she has PayPal or Cash App, but instead of sending it to me, you could just do it directly to her. We can link it, not through YouTube, but through like PayPal or whatever Jamie has. And if anybody wants to donate, they can just do it directly to her versus to me. Would you guys be okay with that, Dennis? Be right back. The baby is crying. Hello, Craig. My baby's crying. I got to go see why the baby's crying. So I think that's probably the easiest way to do it, the fairest way. I don't know. It can just all go directly to her. It's not going to cost us anything to do it via StreamYard, so that's not, I will tell you, Craig, that Donald Trump is a master manipulator. So, I'm crying here too. Why are you crying? Yeah, and Nazi, we need to come up with a new name for your country. Nazi-Australia? How's that? Can we start calling Australia Nazi-Australia? So we need to come up with a new nickname for you guys. The land down under, the land of Nazis, the land of show me your ID, the land of no free speech. But I will tell you, I believe Donald Trump is a master manipulator, which is a good thing. Oswoke, there you go. I like that. C. Bradley's in the house. Tell us what Nazi means. Inform us, my friend. Share your thoughts, and thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. Drop it in there. The land of dingbats. Ooh, I like that instead of wing. What do you got? What are the other? Not. It's not a wingbat, is it? What is that animal you guys got there that sounds like wingbats? Wombats. There you go. I knew that. So the New Germany, you know, the land of dingbats. There you go. Kangaroo court land, you know, we could just keep it up all night. Maybe they should let the kangaroos run the country. Might have a better chance. But let me show his comment. C. Bradley says, in Old Germanic, it means uneducated man, or you might call them hillbillies. All right. Well, Germany had a lot of hills, and I think they still do, so I guess it's fitting. So very good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know it's was hijacked by Hitler and turned into something else. So yes, back in the ancient times, I actually watched that documentary too. So yes. Pat's in the house giving a big thumbs up. It looks like I am up with the baby again. Charlie said he just let him know when the baby shower is or whatever April y'all want to do. Okay, we'll do it. Hey, yeah, Craig. You want to do it during the week? You know, is the better chance for him to be home during the weeknight or a weekend? I promise you I will not sing. How's that? That'll be my gift. Hello, Miss Avocado. Good to see you tonight. Pat just got done cooking dinner. He didn't give us any, though. They were the National Socialist Party who adopted the symbol that became modern-day Nazi Germany, or the symbol of the Nazi Germany, the swastika. Yes, he always gets off at 1 p.m. Okay, great. He's owned by, okay, well, we're going to do it probably around this time, you know, somewhere in this time frame. CO2 Farmer, how are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Good to see you again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the thumbs up. What's going on in your world? How are things? Are you talking about the people, talking about the people, talking about the people, talking about the people in the Philippines too? Good to see you too, Pat. Everybody say hello to CO2 Farmer for me. A lot of drama in the Philippine world, as you guys all know it. Too much drama. Shouldn't be that way, but there is. Too many tubers picking on each other for picking on each other for picking on each other. Nope, means uneducated man. It was used to defend the other Germans after the war. All right. So, there you go. Martise. Nice, nice. It's going to snow here, by the way. We're going to have 12,000 feet of snow. Well, that's what the weatherman says. I wouldn't lie to you. I wouldn't lie to you about anything. But between Friday afternoon through Sunday, which I know you'll appreciate, not being here or in your own warm landed country. NDSAP originally. Is that the name of the party, Craig? It's a, everything gets perverted in one way, shape, or another. That's the sad thing. You can pervert anything, meaning to make something into a negative way, negative connotation, however you want to say it, whatever you want to say. You can take the best of the best and turn it into the worst of the worst. Just depends on your point of view, your perspective, and your willingness to do so. That's kind of like the Philippines in a lot of ways with a lot of these YouTubers YouTubing about YouTube and YouTubers. Say that 3 times fast. Pat says, hello to ya, CEO to Farmer. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Glad you're able to stop by and watch me eat mashed potatoes and Salisbury steak, because that's what I had for dinner earlier. And I did not give anything to David. They called the Germans hillbillies, yet needed them for the space race. We have hillbillies here in the great country of America. We do. And we need them, you know. I don't know what we need them for, but we need them. We need them to carry the firewood, fix things. We need them to do the good, hard stuff. We need them to, you know. Had another morph scan on Tuesday. They saw another half of her heart. So everything is going okay except for the fluid around her is getting low. OBYGN said it could be how she is positioning, and it's not. Ouch. One thing I will say, some of the smartest people I have known in my life actually were hillbillies. So, and I've known a lot of people. A lot of people came through my classroom, and some of the smartest people I ever met were hillbillies. It was luckily a religious symbol in Sanskrit 6,000 years ago. Look where it's at now. Yes, you're right. A lucky religious symbol 6,000 years ago, and now it's the symbol of hate. Who was the head of NASA? Let us know. Showing all the fluid, so I have to up my fluids and get back in 2 weeks. So how do you do that? How do you make more embryonic fluid, I think is what it's called? How do you do that? It doesn't improve, could make me go in early labor. Wow. CEO to Farmer says, I was flagged off by Frank and Phil. I don't know them, to be honest. I know the Frank guy on a live chat for literally nothing. He then trolled me on my channel. That's pretty shitty. Look, I'm not into that. If you got to boot somebody out, don't go to their channel and screw with them. Leave them alone. Why would you do that? That just shows how big of a piece of turd you are. He then trolled me on my channel. On the next live chat, he said, sorry, not first if it's heartfelt, or he's a strange guy. Well, I don't know either. Is that, that's not the Fred we all know, is it? Or is it a different Fred? Or no, that's Frank Fred. Okay, never mind. Sorry, CEO. I got Frank and Fred. You know, my brain is squishy from the coma. So, I don't know. I think you got to take people's actions with a grain of salt. I think you got to take their words with a grain of salt. You take their actions for what it really is. Actions speak louder than words. So I'm drinking water like a fish. Fish don't drink waters. Fish don't drink water. Sorry. So you better not be drinking like a fish. Maybe you should drink water like a camel. You drink a ton of water and hope the fluid numbers go up. Okay. Craig says, I gotta go, man. You don't understand. You know, there's too many people spying on me in Nazi Australia. What do we call Australia again? I forgot. See you, Craig. Appreciate you. Bye ya from Miss Avocado. Take care, Craig, from Pat. So, CEO, that's how I would look at it. There's a lot of dickwads on the internet. There's a lot of wannabes, how do I want to describe this? There's a lot of people that have a channel, and since they have a channel, they think they have some power, some authority. There's some kind of expert, right? There's a lot of them that having a YouTube channel pumps them up, builds their ego up, makes them feel like they are something more than they really are. And I think that's a common thing in YouTube land. CEO says, hello, Pat, regards, Simon. Yes, Simon. Yes, Simon. So I think that's what you got to realize. And they're all out for competition. This is one thing I think is funny because we're all doing this. We all want to grow our channel. We all want to become the next Mr. Beast, right? That's what we all want. We all want to be, some of us will say, no, I'm just doing this for friends. And some of us will say, no, I'm just doing this to have something to do. It has nothing to do with money. I don't want anything. Bullshit. We're all doing it for some kind of reason, right? Most people, and I believe most to all, are doing it in hopes that money will come their way in some shape and or form. For friends. So, they will also, there's all these benchmarks in YouTube land. Like, if you haven't lived in the Philippines for 5 years, as Brian says, then you're a nobody. If you don't have 100,000 subscribers like this person says, you're a nobody. If you're not married, you're a nobody. If you don't have any kids, then you're a nobody because you know nothing. If you didn't come from Britain, you don't know anything, you're a nobody. If you're not, there's so many of these, hey, you're a nobody because you didn't meet whatever imaginary bullshit standard that I threw out there. Control the simulation, king of their castle. Yeah, they're king of their own mind. They believe their own grandiosia. They're like, yes, I am something important. Look at me. I have a channel. People pay attention to me. I'm just here to sell topless photos of myself for $5 million each. That's the only reason I'm here. So, but I see this so much. Well, if you're not on Walking Street, or you're not in Bangkok, if you're not doing this, then you're a nobody. You don't have any right to have an opinion. So, that's what I think is really funny. How many people think all these other people don't have a right to opinion, which I think is hilarious. Because I, on this channel, believe everybody has a right to an opinion, and I want to hear it. As long as everybody understands my opinion is the best, we're okay, right? And that's why I was here. Bye. There you go, man. Actually unfollowed some folks because all they asked for is money. Yes. Well, all I asked for is $5 million. Now, I'm not shy about it. That's my intention. I e-beg for $5 million. That's it. And if you can't do $5 million, it's $5 million or nothing. All right. Elvis in the house. Hey, what's up? How are you, Elvis? Everybody said hello to Elvis. I tried to give them resources, but they wanted cash. I said no. Yes. They don't want information. They don't want knowledge. They want cash. And usually they're going to misuse the cash and not use it for what they say. If you give me $5 million, I can tell you exactly what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to take $2.5 million and rent in there and about, buy a house. I'm going to take the other $2.5 million, give or take, pay the taxes on the $5 million, invest the rest to pay the carrying costs of home ownership. There you go. That's why I need the full $5 million to start with. I don't need a dollar here or there. Not going to help me any. I need a full 500. 5 million. I need a turn, which I thought I already did. There you go. All right. Let me get back. Here. All right. I will give you 5 million likes. I'll take it. All right. That's fine. Kind of a disappointment, but whatever. My grandmother always said, be thankful for everything somebody gives you. But what if they gave you like a black eye? Should you be thankful for that? Come on. Miss Avocado enjoys that I stopped by, but I'm going to go to my guys. Wow. You're going to go hang out with a bunch of guys? Ew. Why don't you hang out with a bunch of girls? Girls are always better to hang out with. Just gonna throw that out there. Unless you're going to like a fist fighting contest, then a bunch of guys would probably be better. Anytime. Happy to do it, CEO. Happy to do it. Pat enjoys that. Miss Avocado enjoys it. A good one, Brother David. Thank you. You know, it is what it is. I speak the truth. The truth speaks through me. I'm so full of shit. Love the humor. Good, thank you. Well, you know, it is, you know, to be honest, I don't really try to be humorous. I just kind of run out the mouth. And I do have a habit of saying what I want to say. And that's it. You know, there's times that you won't like the humor because I can be a little aggressive and assertive in my language. But I appreciate that. I do. You know, at least somebody appreciates something of me. Hell, you know, somebody on my naked video that I did came out yesterday where I'm all naked with Doritos, right? They put that I was the best YouTuber either. Hell, I had to pin that sucker right up in front at the top. That way everybody that goes to look at that sees that first. You know, you're the greatest or whatever he said. Yeah, buddy, man, I pinned that sucker. I was going to photocopy it and put it all over the walls. So there you go. Pat agrees. Pat had Salisbury steak and mashed potatoes, and he didn't offer us any. I mean, any at all. And he could have, but he didn't do it. Speaking of fist fights, oh my God, Jamie. I just found out there's something called slap face fighting. Yeah, it's stupid as hell. Like slap your face and yeah. It's, I get it. It's for money. You know, I can be, you know, swayed by money myself. I have very little principles or scruples, you know. I just don't find it entertaining, to be honest. I've seen it and I went, that's stupid. You know, maybe it's because I'm old now, but I found it stupid. I mean, I like the UFC. We watch, you know, fights, real fights, boxing matches and all of that, ultimate fighting stuff. You know, that's okay, but that's just kind of stupid. Yeah, silly game sport. Is it a sport? Grown men slapping each other face to face looks cringy. I just don't know. What are they going to do next? Slap something else? Ooh. Mr. Dennis says, I have a lot of practice. Yes. Receiving the slaps. I think Dennis receives more slap and tickles. Dennis is the AC General, by the way. We promoted Dennis to AC General, the Commander-in-Chief of the AC Army. Miss Avocado says, Dennis, I could never slap you, but I sure have thought about it a hell of a lot. There you go. Just thought I'd throw that. I know there's probably a lot of Venezuelan, Colombian young ladies that have probably wanted to smack Dennis. Please, I want it, AB. You know, the Mexican girls going, woo! Just telling, you know, maybe a bitch slap, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Some of them women, Dennis. Yeah, CEO, he likes that. I'm Italian, you don't want these hands. Woo, that sounds like a provocation. Sounds like a threat. Sounds like a bet. Sounds like an investigation. Sounds like a challenge. Bring it on. You can have my hands. My hands are arthritic. You know, the skin tears really easy because I have a weird disease because I'm old and cranky and crappy and allergic to the sun, so I got weird old people skin. So you can have mine. I don't mind. You can take them all you want. take the old arthritic hands. I don't mind. It's okay with me. So, but you don't want to take my feet. My feet are lethal weapons. Remember that old saying in the movies in the 80s? My hands are registered as lethal weapons. Who would you register your hands as lethal weapons for? Have you ever heard of that? That's bullshit, right? I saw an interview with the Gacy guys the other day. Really interesting. Not John Wayne Gacy, the serial killer, but the mixed martial arts people, the grapplers, the Gacy family out of Brazil. Just clarifying. I've already read the John Wayne Gacy books, but they were talking about the history of all of that and how it got started and how he evolved and, all of that. And there was times that apparently some bitch slapping was happening. Some of the guys, were a little rude, so they had to have some bitch slapping happening. What do I know? I'm not a bitch, and I'm not a slapper. So how would I know? I just run my mouth on the internet. Jamie says, I've never hit anyone, but I know some Italian women especially that actually brag about it. Ooh, sorry. Like, no matter how upset I've been, I've never heard of my partner. Nice. Well, and I do think as somebody who's been in a lot of male-to-male fights and had a girl bust a bottle over my head at a bar, so I beat the living shit out of her boyfriend for that, not her. I do think it's weird when you brag about violence. That's unpaid for. Now, if you're paid and you want to talk and brag about, I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, I'll knock you out until your mama sees you. It's a little different. But in a relationship type situation, running your mouth about, hey, and I've known guys this. I actually know guys who talk about how they put their woman in their place. I was actually recommended to do that with Lorelai. When Lorelai first came to America, got a friend, not really a friend because he, is a turd, a dickhead, a scumbag, but he's a friend, all right? That told me that I should beat my wife because that's what he does. And I told him he's he didn't like what I told him. And I told him, one, I don't need to prove who I am as a man to beat up a woman. I just don't. That's pathetic. I feel like that is one of the most pathetic things you can do. Hey, I'm a man. I'm going to beat you up, female. What? Are you serious? Now, if you're out in the parking lot and they keep beating on you, then punch them in the face and get it over with, right? And go about your business. But to intentionally intimidate, threaten, and beat your woman is stupid. It shows how big of a coward you are. It shows how much I would like to meet you in the street so I can jack slap you and treat you like a bitch, right? Because that's what happens with these guys. These type of guys, they couldn't take on a real man if they tried, so they got to beat up a woman. It is, Pat says, these women were upset because their man didn't spend money on them, like jewelry, Gucci, Prada. Yeah, there is that segment of the population now that you see on YouTube and Instagram that, are getting, and that's why American men don't want to date American women, right? It's why a lot of guys don't want to get married. They don't want to. There's an example of that. There's a really great video out there that I've seen a whole bunch of times. I don't know how old it is, a couple years old, but there's 3 women together. And another woman asked them on the street, right? They're, I don't know, somewhere like Savannah, Georgia, or New York or somewhere, right? And they're out there and the lady's interviewing people randomly. And she asked these 3 girls, if your man has been working all day and gets up in the middle of the night and wants something to eat, would you get up and cook him food? And 2 of the girls says, absolutely not. No, he needs to be independent and take care of his own damn self, blah, blah, blah. The 3rd girl who quietly, and you could tell that she was not going to be in in that little group, right? When the microphone came to her, She just kind of said, yeah, I would. And I'm happily married. And the other two girls went, oh, to be happily married, you need to do, oh, well, maybe we'll change our mind to be happily married. So, great little thing that's out there all over. You've probably seen it. It's a redheaded girl who says, well, yeah, I would. And I'm very happily married. Hey, there you go. If you want to be happy, don't call shit. I have a roof over my head. He pays the bills. He knows when Maybella is going to be born. I'll be back to work eventually. Yeah, you'll be back to work. Give it some time. He worked today. I made dinner and cleaned up. Got him a beverage when he went to bed. See, it's good. It's just respect a lot of times. But I've known a lot of little men, what I call men with little man syndrome, who like to act tough, and beat on women. It seems like the little men like to do that for some reason. I hardly ever hear or see of some 6 foot, 250-pound dude who's in good shape, beating on women. It's usually some little peeny-ass dude who has an inferiority complex about how small he is, and he's probably worried about the size of his penis. So he likes to show how manly he is by beating on women and children. That's what I see throughout history. You don't see, big giant men doing that. You just don't. And not that I'm a big giant guy, but I am a big guy, and I've been a tough guy in the past. Now I'm old, I'm just me. I saw no reason to it. Why? Yeah, one, I don't got to prove anything. I never felt like, even as a kid, I had to prove anything to anybody. Maybe I'm lucky in that sense. I never felt like I got to prove shit to anybody. Who are you that I got to prove anything to? Well, there you go. There you go. It's like, and I do a lot of Lorelai work. She has a job. I do the laundry, majority of it. I do a lot of the cooking. She doesn't really like my food because I suck at cooking from her perspective. But, I do cook a lot of food. So I don't do real good cleaning the dishes because I hate the dishes. I hate doing the dishes. I hate putting the dishes. The worst thing about doing dishes is putting the damn things away. I absolutely hate putting dishes away. I think it is the biggest, baddest, worst, crappiest thing you could ever have to do in your entire world. Except for other things. Jamie says, oh yes, my ex who was 5'7", the guy back in 2023, would hurt me. Yes, truck driver with a nasty attitude, thank God for protection order. And then the boom, he passed away from heart. See, there you go. He was too evil. He had evil in him, so he had a heart attack. His heart gave out. His heart said, you know what? I don't want to be like this. His heart went, I don't want to live like this. This is not good who I am. My heart is not supposed to be like this. So, whew. And sometimes the body knows. Pat says, oh man, not good, Miss Avocado. So, I do believe in a way everybody gets what's coming to them in one way or the other. One way, shape, or another. Miss Avocado, I subbed my friend. Thank you for subbing to everybody, because if I didn't throw that out, thank you for the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to everybody else in the chat. Do that. I'm more than, The other thing that kind of weirds me out or bothers me about YouTubers talking about YouTubers. Very rarely do I ever see bigger channels reminding people and their big live streams to go sub to each other. They don't do it. I don't got it. We're not a grow channel. That's not our purpose. But what's wrong with just reminding everybody, hey, go subscribe to each other? But I see so many of these bigger channels who just don't do it. Even though that's how they started. They started out small like everybody else on live streams and having people say, hey, why don't you go sub to Adventures with Pac, whatever it is. Go subscribe to them. Go give them a thumbs up. Go watch them. That's how they started. But now it's like, yeah, we're too good. We're not going to tell anybody to subscribe to anybody because that may infer that we like their channel. And by God, Me and my 100,000 subscribers, we got a reputation to uphold. But you don't got to go and say, hey, go subscribe to PAC, Adventures of the Filipino American Couple. You can just say, hey, everybody, remember, go subscribe to each other. Check each other out. It's okay to be friends without endorsing somebody, because you think you're so freaking big when you're really just nothing. We're all nothing. I used to tell college professors, I taught college, you guys didn't know, I had a community college here. And we'd have some with super big heads, super gigantic heads. And I'd have to remind them, I said, you do realize that you're at a podunk community college in a podunk state, right? You do realize where you're at. You're not at Harvard or Yale or Stanford. You're not making $200,000-300,000 a year. You're probably making $50,000 a year like the rest of us. You're a nobody just like the rest of us. At Craig, something, my friend. Thank you. Let's see, as you speak the truth. I do. Whether a lot of people don't like it, CEO, they really don't. Some people I think appreciate it, but a lot of people don't like it because it hurts their feelings. So that means there's truth to them. So here's what you got to understand about life in general. If somebody says something and it hurts your feelings, then it's ringing truth in your own heart. Right? All right? If I say that everybody that wears hats is dumb as rocks, and you get offended by that, if it hurts your feelings, well, then you're dumb as rocks and you wear hats. Okay? Do you see what I mean? And that is the way the human psychology works, the human mind works. We are tuned to see and to listen and feel for things that attack us. And if we get offended by something, by me saying YouTubers kissing ass to other YouTubers, whatever it is. No, it's not me that's fault. It's you, because you're taking it that way. Miss Avocado says he always makes a good point. I try. I do ramble a lot, and I do have a good point right there. You see that right there? It needs to be sharpened, otherwise it would poke me and make me bleed, but it is a good point. It's a really good line. I did sociology in high school. Yes, it was very interesting. Yeah, I've had all of those classes. I've had psychology, sociology, advanced psychology, and normal psychology. I've had a lot of those. I really have. Of course, I studied serial killers intensely for a long time because I enjoy understanding human behavior. But the real education I get is just by shutting my mouth sometimes, opening my ears, and watching people's behavior. That's why I always say behavior speaks louder than words. So your words will do this, but your behavior is how you think and feel. I did it in my classrooms. I did it every day in work, every place I go. You learn if you listen and see, right? You will find the behavior. Life is the teacher, not the college. And of course, let me go back to saying that. Even though I worked in higher education all my life, higher education is a big giant waste of money unless you're going to be a doctor or a nurse or a lawyer, something like that. If you just want to make money and have a good life, higher education is stupid. Just saying. There's other ways to make money. And it's not by being on YouTube. Oh, speaking of high school, I got an email saying our 20th reunion is coming up. Wow, in 2027, congratulations. Man, don't you feel old? When I got my 20th invitation, I opened it and it said, sorry, you're not invited. Mine said, sorry, we don't want your ass at our reunion. No. I never got an invitation. I knew about it. But then again, here's how I looked at I think I might have went to a party for like the 10th. And it dawned on me, one, there's a couple things that dawned on me. One, everybody who drank a lot of alcohol and smoked looked really old. The people that didn't drink and didn't smoke still looked good. One thing that dawned on me. Two, it dawned on me, made me really seek and think and feel, I didn't like these people in high school, And you know what? I don't like them now. So I never went to another high school reunion after that because, yeah, I didn't like them then. I don't like them now. I don't want to know them. Not going to hang out with them. I think most of them are full of shit. I think they're lying about who they are and what they do. Their life is just as screwed up as mine. They're just going to lie about it. Definitely not. Go ahead. Why not? So yeah, that's what I remember. And I've never gone to one. And I don't. One, I wouldn't waste the money. I'm too cheap. I'm going to do a video on some new hair clippers I got because I was telling my brother today. It's funny, but I got to do a video about some new professional grade hair clippers, and it reminds me how cheap we are. The word cheap reminded me of this story. That we both apparently, and I didn't know this until today, honest to God, the best hair trimmers that I use are the ones I bought for my dog Daisy, who passed away. The long hair, wiener dog. Her clippers work the best for me. Well, I was telling my brother the story that I bought some, supposed to be really good, because I got a whole bunch of different different trimmers, and they all suck, and I wear them out. So I bought one. I'm gonna do a video. But I was telling him, I said, I hate to tell you this, but the best trimmers I use are the ones I cut Daisy's hairs with. He's like, yeah, well, guess what? The best trimmers I use is the one that my daughter grooms her horses with. All right, anyway, because he was too cheap to have his hair cut. I'm too cheap to go to high school reunions. I'm too cheap to pay somebody to cut my own damn hair. I let Lorelai do it. Lorelai does a good job because I just do it like this and there's no real creativity. Pat says, did you ever get in big fight in high school? Oh, shit, Pat. Pat, I will have to admit that the leader of the pack has been in many, many, many fights. All through high school, junior high. I enjoyed it. All through the bar scene. Enjoyed it tremendously in the bars. One of the best times of my life was bar fighting. I did do a tough man contest once. Came close to winning it, but I didn't. So yes, the young me, but by the time I turned 35, I think I was done with that. So yes, Pat, many, many, many. And I was not only fat, but I was extremely strong and agile and fast for a fat guy. So they didn't see me coming on. But I did enjoy it back then. But now I'm a good guy. I behave. I do whatever my wife says, unless it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, or Saturday, or Sunday, or Monday. But other than that, I do whatever she says. So yeah, and to be honest, even in today's world with horrible ankles, blown out knees, bad back, bad heart, bad lungs, bad kidneys, I don't have a problem getting involved if I have to. I'm not going to shy away. I'm not going to scare away. I know it's going to hurt, but I'm just one of those guys that don't have a problem stepping in and doing the best I can, no matter how bad it's going to hurt me, how bad a shape I'm in, which is probably stupid, but I would jump at a second if I needed to. If somebody bothered Lorelai, I would clean their clock. And the only difference is as you get older, you get smarter. When I was a high schooler, a college, 20s, and going to bars, you fought differently. Now I just grab your throat and rip it out and get it over with. Ms. Avocado, I broke a chick nose and you mean girl. Holy shit and butt farts. What kind of mean girl are you? Broke a girl's nose. Hope you apologize. What'd you do, poker? That's not very nice, Jamie. You want to know another story? I had my nose broke about the 6th grade. Yeah. Now there's two versions to this. There's two versions of this story, and I'll tell you both stories. And you guys can decide which is probably true. Had nothing to do with the fight. I was trying out for baseball. I wanted to play baseball. Fat kid. Not in 6th grade, I was just a fat kid. Big kid, but a fat kid, But I wanted to play sports. I wanted to play baseball, so I tried out. So I'm out, and being a fat kid, where are they going to put you? They're going to put you out in the outfield. So I'm out in the outfield, and there's one story is this. I'm out there and they hit the ball and I didn't realize it. And I was facing and looking over at this beautiful girl that distracted me. And when I turned my head back, it hit me in the nose and broke my nose. Okay, that's one story. The other version is this. I'm out in the outfield and they hit the ball to me and I try to catch it and I miss it and it hits me in the face. I like the one where I got distracted by the girl. Which do you think is true? So, and I didn't get suspended, just after school detention. Well, man, now I know why you're talking about slapping people with those hands. I don't do it again, because this time you're gonna go. Probably got distracted. No, I just sucked. I sucked at baseball. I really liked playing baseball. I just sucked at it. I was better at football. And I wasn't very good at that. I sucked at baseball, but I loved playing baseball. I really, really enjoyed playing baseball. I thought it was, I don't know, something about just being out in a baseball field was so enjoyable. Something about, I don't know, I just sucked at it. So I always had to play the outfield, and I think it was the right field where nobody hits to, or the left, wherever they didn't hit to, I had to play over there. So, but I liked baseball. I played for the Pirates. That's who I played for, and really enjoyed it. But yeah, I had a busted nose. So there you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's getting close to 10 o'clock for me, which means it's late. Jamie will continue to work on the baby shower stuff. I will get things figured out and set up here very soon and start marketing and advertising. As I told Dennis earlier, if you didn't catch this part, Jamie, if you have a PayPal or a Cash App or something like that, we will link that to that in case anybody wants to give you a baby gift, okay? It doesn't need to come through to me, to you, unless you absolutely want it that way, because we have a PayPal account. But if not, if you have one, we can just boom and do it directly, all right? Well, she kept a body checking me in lockers. Oh, I beat her ass. Body checked me. I warned her to stop, or I lay her out. She laughed. I cocked my hand back and threw it into her locker. See, you're really nice. I wouldn't have done that. You're really nice. I would have grabbed her by the head of her hair and I would have banged her face into the locker multiple times. You like body checking somebody here? That's what I would have done. Pat says, see you next time. Appreciate you. Take care of Pat. I'd be pissed too. So Jamie, think about that. Everybody think about that. Everybody, thank you for coming in. Pat, we appreciate you, Jamie. Dennis, CEO Farmer, good to have you here. Mike was here. Everybody was here tonight. Thank you. Elvis was here, but he left the building because he had to go play with a bunch of boys. C. Bradley was here. He had to go do something else with Germany or something. I don't know. Dennis, thank you. Craig, appreciate you. Take care. We'll see you this weekend, Friday night, and then we're going to do some stuff over the weekend. So be ready.